Google fires employee behind controversial diversity memo. Gee, I wonder what Hacker News has to say about this. The author's arguments have been completely misrepresented. He pointed out widely believed and sometimes scientifically established differences in the distribution of traits in men and women. He said that those differences make attempts to achieve numerical parity misguided, discriminatory, and harmful. What is his conclusion about how we should behave? Treat people as individuals, not as just another member of their group. Wow, what a monster. The reaction to this memo is really the most damning thing about the whole affair. Everyone is just rushing to virtue signal, to demonstrate their own purity of thought. They've just proved the author's point. A particular brand of liberalism has reached the point of being a religion, and the establishment is running an inquisition against any who dare question its points of dogma. This is the closing of the American mind. What happened today is an outrage. Google's actions are abominable and contrary to the bedrock parts of Enlightenment culture. The same values that gave us antibiotics and electricity, Google is now slapping in the face. Google is essentially banning the mention of true scientific research. If we never allow challenges to our beliefs to be heard, we can't really be said to truly understand what we profess. Google is claiming that the doc suggests that women shouldn't be employed at the company. That's an appallingly dishonest statement. The doc talks about broad population averages and specifically mentions that we need to judge every individual on his or her own merits. This dismissal is based on an outright lie. The dismissal is also hugely inconsistent with Google's previous behavior. Google has plenty of internal diversity documents, official ones from HR, that paint white males with the harshest of stereotypes and tell us that we're hostile to smooth team functioning. Google has sexist and racist diversity hiring practices. Google uses discredited pseudoscience in its implicit bias training courses to convince privileged groups that they're unconsciously oppressing other people, and asks every manager to publicly confess his or her privilege before twice-yearly employee evaluation meetings can begin. Google's sexism and racism against white and Asian men is simply breathtaking, and so is Google's hypocrisy. Eppur si muove. This is a sad day. This is starting to be scary. Instead of government, companies are acting as thought police. I think a lot of people will watch what they are saying publicly from now on. We fire people for snickering at the word dongle. We witch hunt people who play at Gore in their spare time. We hound CEOs who disagree with the popular stance on gay marriage. We fire people who clumsily try to open a dialogue internally to a company. The tech industry is indeed fucked, but perhaps not for the reasons that are currently popular. More politically correct fascism. Beware, this is bad. He's a good man. I'm sorry to hear Google is such a hypocritical company. They preach tolerance and yet destroy those who fall out of line from their ideology. They'd make great commies. As for James, I'm sure he'll be able to find a better job. There are still a lot of people in this country with their heads on right. I think I'm going to go as Google-free as possible now. What's the best alternative to Gmail? Yes, I'm sure one of the wealthiest companies with some of the best compensated employees in the world will make terrific communists. May I remind you that the Russians were the first to space, also that they created the biggest bomb in history, also Hitler's top aides all had very high IQs. The problem with people with high IQs is they think they know everything, and when you think that, that's when you do stupid things. When you get groupthink going, no one is insusceptible. Quote, he's a good man. End quote. Why do you say that? He stood up for the truth. Sure, he got fired, but he did a good thing and we all benefit. He's like Tank Man who stood up to the Chinese. Oh shit, I can't read these comments with a serious voice.